beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today I'm going to do a full side-by-side comparison between the two Nightmare Before Christmas collections that Milk Cosmetics has recently released. I have done full in-depth swatch and review videos for each one of these collections, where you can see all of the products being applied in a tutorial. I did lip swatches of all the lipsticks, and I give a lot more information in those videos. So if you're looking for more info beyond what you find in today's video, I will link both of those reviews down in the description box and you can go check those out. I am just doing a straight up comparison between all of the many products in these two collections. Halloween Town and Christmas Town have either different shades in the same exact type of product or adjacent products. So we're going to break down packaging, shades, finishes, prices, and I'll give you some little bits about my preferences and my favorites along the way as well. All of these items are currently available, but a few of the pieces are sold out, so they've already been released, and there are just a few pieces, I think only from Halloween Town, that are sold out. So let's start with these little accessory products first. The Halloween Town collection has a hand mirror. Christmas Town has a duo brush set. I did not purchase the brush set. It is quite a bit more expensive. It's $58 and it was not included in the full collection set. So this is the only piece from the entirety of both of these collections that I don't have. But I think it's pretty clear that these are definitely not the same. And personally, I prefer the mirror, not just because of the price point, but I'm just more likely to more frequently use this. I use a hand mirror a lot when I do my makeup. So for the price, for the cuteness, for the vanity decor, and just for the use value, the mirror is my personal preference. But I haven't tried their brushes, so I can't really say anything about quality. I will say this mirror is big. It's heavy. You can see compared to this Huda Beauty mirror that it is thick. She's thick, okay? Now we're going to look at the two makeup bags. Each one of these collections had a different makeup bag. They're both priced at $35 US. And these are pretty darn similar. They have different designs, but the Halloween Town bag has two handles. The Christmas Town one only has one handle. That's the really big major structural difference. Otherwise, it's basically just down to design. They have the exact same dimensions. And when you look inside at the interior pockets, they have the same layout. They're just done in a different fabric. There's one flat mesh pocket, and then there's one deeper pocket, but same dimensions. Basically, these are the same. They just have a different design. You certainly don't need both, so be better than me, be smarter than me. Don't buy both of these because they're the same. Now let's move on to the cheek colors. True Love Never Dies is a digital dust highlight. It's the one from the Halloween Town collection. And then the Christmas Town collection has the Deadly Nightshade duo. This is a cream blush light and cream highlight duo with a split pan inside. All of the outer packaging has the same dimensions, the same funky shapes, but they all have different Nightmare Before Christmas themed details. And in general, the Halloween Town packaging is going to lean more orange, and the Christmas Town packaging is going to lean more purple. You'll see that in the text, and you'll also see that in the components. These two compacts are the same dimensions, exact same shape and size, and they have a magnetic closure on the lid, which I particularly enjoy because these are very easy to open and they have that satisfying snap closed. But that's about where the similarities end. Once we open up inside to the compacts, these are pretty darn different. True Love Never Dies is a powder highlight, and the Deadly Nightshade Duo is a cream finish. So the textures are very different here. And I also think that these are truly made to suit different skin tones. I believe that True Love Never Dies is fine as a blush topper for me, but as a highlighter, it definitely suits medium and deeper skin tones more. In my opinion, you can use whatever you want, however you want to. And I think that the Deadly Nightshade Duo, the cream blush and highlighter duo, suits medium and lighter skin tones more. I'm truly just going based off of my own experience because I don't do makeup on anybody else. I'm not a makeup artist, so I don't know in reality how these function on different skin tones. I'm just assuming based on the limited knowledge that I have. I will say, in general, I prefer the Deadly Nightshade Duo. I love the cream blush light formula. So this is overall just the one I'm going to use more. However, True Love Never Dies highlighter is a stunning collector's item. I love printed powders. I'm a sucker for a special collector's item. So that's not a good enough reason to purchase for some people. I totally get that. I am an avid makeup collector, so it has value to me as a collector's item. But that's not right for everybody, just in terms of budget, storage space, what you want in your life and what you don't. So I get it. Let's move over to these little eye pots. The Halloween Town collection has gel liners, and the Christmas Town collection has glitter eye gels. All of these are priced at 24 US dollars a piece. And you can see that the packaging is quite different on these. We haven't seen this much of a departure in any of the other items, except for maybe like the mirror and the brushes. The liners have opaque matte finish lids, and the eye gels have that more translucent, sort of see-through plastic look that the cheek compacts had. And we're also going to see that on the lipsticks a little bit later on. You can already tell just from looking at these products in the pots that there's a lot of different finishes going on here. In the gel liners, the orange shade is an ultra matte, so it does dry down matte. And the red shade has a metallic finish. It also dries down, but it doesn't look matte. It looks metallic because it's metallic. And then with the eye gels, the shade 0 is definitely more sheer, more glittery. It's definitely my least favorite of the bunch, believe it or not. Even though I'm not a gel liner girl, I still like these as like a cream base. But my favorite is the metallic finish eye gel that's called Making Christmas. This is so bright and beautiful. It reminds me of the Jelly Much shadows from ColourPop, but a little bit thicker, not quite as watery jelly. So for this portion, I would say definitely not the same. And my personal pick would be the Making Christmas shade. That's the only one that I've gone back to and wanted to use again since reviewing these collections. Next up, we have some lipsticks. The Halloween Town collection has 2 ultra matte lipsticks, and the Christmas Town collection has an ultra matte and then a frost finish. All 4 of these are priced at 24 US dollars a piece. I believe that all of the Halloween Town lipsticks are sold out. I'll have to double check to see if there are any available at Sephora because I know some of these products did become available on the Sephora website as well. So check the description box if you're interested in any of these, and I'll try to find them elsewhere online since they're sold out on the Melt site. And I will link anything I find in the description box for you. We do not have individualized components within each collection. So both of the Halloween Town lipsticks are the same packaging. Both of the Christmas Town lipsticks are the same packaging, but they are very different from one another. So that's why I'm giving you a side-by-side with just one of each. I think it's easier to focus on the details without so many pieces on the screen. And these all have shade labels that are color coordinated. I like that. That's a good detail for me. here's a quick look at all of the lipstick bullets side by side. I really like the color selection overall here. I think that it matches the theme well, and I think it fits the brand really well. I will say that these ultra matte lipsticks are pretty stiff. You can see from the live swatches here that it takes a little bit of work to get a super opaque application, but once these are on, they are incredibly long wearing and they're not as uncomfortable as I expected them to be based on these swatches, because the swatches were pretty dry feeling. It felt like they're really dragging over my skin. But when I applied these to my lips, they're actually pretty comfortable. They're not completely transfer proof, but they are quite transfer resistant. That's sort of the back and forth of a longer wearing lip color, is I tend to find them less comfortable than something that needs to be touched up more often. And it's a trade-off. I think it's a personal choice what works best for you and what your preference and your comfort level is. I was worried that these two darker lipsticks were going to be too similar, and they definitely look pretty similar on the lips. Lock, Shock, and Barrel is a lot more red, whereas Shot Down is decidedly more purple and a little bit cooler toned. I actually prefer these deep vampy lip colors the most out of the bunch. Shot Down is probably my most favorite, but I think these are all really cool. Definitely not the same, but I don't think you need all four of these. Personally, I think the two deep vampy colors are pretty similar on the lips, so I would say not the same, but kind of the same. Last thing we're going to look at are the palettes. Each one of these palettes are priced at $60 US. However, you can get a bundle with a discounted price if you end up wanting both palettes. There is a discount bundle that's still available on the Melt website that contains both palettes for a price of $99. So a pretty decent discount if you're planning on getting both of these. And I do think they work really well together. If you look at them separately, I think they look really similar, especially because they both have this odd, funky coffin shape. They both have a similar styling and the jumbled up layout of the pans inside, which is not my favorite aesthetically, but it does work within the context of this collection. I think that gives you a little bit of an optical illusion that these are more similar than they actually are. I like these two palettes the most when they are together. I think they complete one another really well. There's not as much overlap as I expected. Like I said, these sort of play a trick on your eye, and it did the same thing to me too, where I thought, oh, the purples and the greens are the same. When they're swatched, they flow together. They feel like all part of one color story cohesively. But when you see them separately and side by side, I think they look more the same than they actually are. First, I want to show you each one of these palettes swatched side by side, but in their individual palettes. So across the top are the Christmas Town swatches, and then across the bottom are the Halloween Town palette swatches. Once the shadows are actually applied to the skin, you can see the difference in the tones, in the colors, and the finishes. Those greens and the purples don't look as much like repeats once they're actually applied to the skin. And these melt shadows are kind of tricky because they don't look as good in arm swatches as they do on the eye once they're actually applied and being worn and being blended. So don't let the initial swatches fool you. These actually look a lot better on the eye, which is something I mentioned in my reviews as well. Now, this is how I like to see these palettes all swatched together with the colors in a little bit of a rainbow order. This way you can see the more similar colors directly side by side, and you can see the flow of the color story. To me, these palettes work best when they are used together because I like how well-rounded this color story is. This feels like a spooky Nightmare Before Christmas rainbow palette, and I love that. I know that's probably not for everybody, but it is for me. I feel that I get the best looks and the most complete looks from these palettes when I use them together. My final verdict, are they the same? No, they look the same, and I don't blame you if your eyeballs get tricked into thinking that they're the same, because my eyeballs also got tricked into thinking that they're the same. But for me, these are two sides of the same spooky rainbow palette coin. That's it for the comparisons of the Halloween Town and Christmas Town collections. It is my goal to help you make good purchasing decisions, so I hope that you found this video helpful, or at least I hope you found it entertaining to hang out here with me for a little while. I would love to hear your thoughts on these collections, if you picked anything up, if anything is on your wish list. I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And I love your beautiful little face. I will see you soon. Okay, bye!